Alright, let's dive into something that's got the entire tech and investment world on the edge of their seats: SpaceX's first earnings report since going public. But here's the thing, this isn't just about numbers. It's about Elon Musk, AI in space, Starlink's dominance, and a stock that's been on a wild ride since its IPO. So, let's break it down, because there's way more here than meets the eye. First off, the hook: SpaceX's stock has dropped 24% since its IPO, wiping out nearly $500 billion in market cap. That's a staggering number, right? But personally, I think what's even more fascinating is why this is happening. It's not just about the losses. SpaceX lost $4.9 billion last year, largely due to AI investments. What many people don't realize is that this isn't just a company building rockets, it's a company betting big on the future of AI and space-based infrastructure. If you take a step back and think about it, this is Musk's vision of merging AI with space exploration. It's bold, it's risky, and it's polarizing. Analysts are jittery, sure, but this is exactly the kind of long-term play that Musk is known for. The question is, will it pay off? Now, let's talk Starlink, because this is where things get really interesting. Starlink is SpaceX's only profitable segment, bringing in $11.39 billion in revenue last year. But here's the kicker: they just raised prices and added a $10 monthly kit fee. Why does this matter? Because it's a test of how much demand there really is for satellite internet. Personally, I think this move is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it could boost revenue in the short term. On the other, it risks alienating subscribers in a market that's already competitive. What this really suggests is that Starlink's growth might not be as smooth as investors hoped. And if you're an investor, that's a red flag. One thing that immediately stands out is the rare sell rating from Phillip Capital. They're predicting a 35% drop in the stock price, citing losses and negative cash flows until 2030. But here's where it gets nuanced: SpaceX isn't your typical company. It's not just about quarterly earnings, it's about building a future where data centers are in space and AI powers everything. From my perspective, this sell rating feels short-sighted. Yes, the financials look bleak now, but if Musk's vision pans out, this could be one of the most transformative companies of our time. The real question is, how much patience do investors have? What makes this really interesting is the contrast between SpaceX's segments. The space business, which includes those iconic rocket launches, is losing money. The AI segment is bleeding cash. But Starlink? It's the cash cow. This raises a deeper question: is SpaceX a space company, an AI company, or an internet provider? In my opinion, it's all three, and that's both its strength and its weakness. It's a diversified bet on the future, but it also means the company is spread thin. If one segment falters, the whole house of cards could wobble. Finally, let's talk about the bigger picture. SpaceX's merger with xAI earlier this year was a huge signal. They're not just launching rockets, they're building a space-based AI ecosystem. A detail I find fascinating is their plan to build data centers in space. Think about that for a second. Data centers in space. This isn't just sci-fi, it's a real strategy to dominate the next frontier of computing. But here's the catch: it's expensive, it's unproven, and it's years away from profitability. What this really suggests is that SpaceX is playing a game no one else is even close to. So, where does this leave us? Personally, I think SpaceX is a company that's impossible to ignore. It's risky, it's ambitious, and it's divisive. The stock drop? Expected. The losses? Part of the plan. Starlink's price hikes? A necessary gamble. But here's my closing thought: SpaceX isn't just a company, it's a bet on the future. And whether you're an investor, a tech enthusiast, or just someone who loves space, this is a story worth watching. Because if Musk's vision works, it's not just SpaceX that wins, it's humanity. But if it doesn't? Well, that's a $500 billion question.